Hey everyone, welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. It is the 13th of May, a Wednesday here in East Tennessee, and I'm hoping that you all had a wonderful day yesterday and continue to have a good day today. We have a few things to talk about. One, let's just start out on the left side of the country here with L.A. and what's going on with the elections that are due to take place, I guess, in the primaries out there for a mayor position of L.A. and some of the other voting that will go on in and around that. But Spencer Pratt has come out with some really hard-hitting campaign TV ads that are just outstanding. And one of the most amusing things to me yesterday was to see this new ad that came out on a Star Wars theme that really sums up all of the problems in the blue area that is Los Angeles any longer. Spencer Pratt, in case you don't realize, is an actor, I guess a reality TV guy, but his home burned down in the fires out there that Mayor Bass wasn't even around for, or was warned about time and time again, but let it happen. And so did his parents lose their home, and a lot of other people lost their home in the Palisades fire, and it was not a fun thing to watch. But what is a fun thing to watch is he's now running for mayor because he's sick and fed up with the lawlessness and the inability to even get your home rebuilt that you lost in these fires because of the massive red tape that's put on by the people that are in charge in LA, and for that matter, in charge as governor of that state, who have just taxed the people to a point where the moving vans are making the most money leaving the state of California. Whether or not Newsom wants to admit it, that's a whole different ballgame. But I want you to take a look at this new ad that CBS and ABC are trying to edit down to portions that they feel are okay to put on the air. He's fighting against this, and I hope he wins, because everything of this ad is factual, and there is no reason for them to be editing things down. But this is what the news media does. They take a sentence this long and edit it into this, and the talking point that they want to use is usually the most detrimental words that are left in that sentence. And they'll do this again with campaign ads from people that are running for office. We watched it happen with Kamala Harris and the rest of the Democratic Party, especially Mandani in New York and those people of that nature that got into offices by lying and having the media edit out anything that was not favorable to them. But let's take a look here at Spencer Pratt's new ad, and I guarantee you a chuckle out of this if you have ever seen any of the Star Wars series.
You didn't finish burning the city to the ground in your first term. Make sure you finish the job in your second.
The only thing that can stop us is someone telling the truth. As long as they don't have any hope, the city's ours.
Nobody's ever done this before. No one's ever spoken truth to power in LA.
If one man's brave enough to think things can change, everyone will realize things can change. You need to stop him.
Our children deserve to be safe.
You had 20 years to fix things.
Enough is enough.
It's incredible on the money that is being spent against this mayor, who is, another one that got into power in a city that has a dual citizenship and all of the stuff that goes along with it, just like in New York and Chicago. You have a mayor in Chicago that is not in touch with his own people in some cases. His own citizens can tell and talk about this until they're blue in the face, and he has a different take on it. I've personally watched some town halls that he has presided over, and he just refuses to listen to the people that are in the communities most hurt by what's going on with these illegal immigrants and the fight against immigration and customs to pull these people out and deport them, or in some cases make them pay for the crimes that they have been committing across these areas. The store closures because they have been crash and looting these stores one after another. The Walgreens are closing up, the CVSs are closing up, and who suffers from that? It's not the illegal immigrants, because they just go to any emergency room and they get services that you have to pay for free. And that's what it's all about. That's what the Democratic Party is about. It's about keeping a vote by giving away everything that they can to the people that they want to vote for them in any fashion that they need them to vote. This is called the replacement voters. This is why they don't want them deported. This is why they fight so hard to keep the health care payments going to the illegals, because they rely on their support to be reelected. Our geriatric side of Congress, they're unbelievable, and what they believe is a replacement for what they have lost through bad management of their own particular states that they are representing. Chicago is just another story that you'll see here.
Here's the thing about Chicago. We can pat our heads and rub our stomach at the same time. I don't think it has to be an either-or scenario. At a time in which we had the most visitors in our city over the summer ever, the fact that we are at a 60-year low in terms of violent crime, the fact that, again, that we're building large-scale projects, 6, 7 cranes in the air, 19 on the way. We're building affordable homes downtown and reconverting of old office spaces. Our airport is now the busiest airport in the world. This would be the time for Chicago to accelerate, to be able to generate and move our economy forward. We are the global capital of the world. Certainly, we move the Midwest in ways that no other city in the Midwest does.
Chicago Walgreens store on the city's south side is closing its doors next month, and people who rely on it for prescriptions say they will be in a pharmacy desert. Our Marissa Sulik heard from neighbors and Walgreens officials about their major concerns today.
On June 4th, this Walgreens here at 87th and Cottage Grove will close its doors. Walgreens says it's closing because this store has lost over $1 million in the last year, and their team member safety is at risk.
We are at a 60-year low in terms of violent crime.
Signs outside this Cottage Grove Walgreens explicitly warn customers it is closing in less than a month. It's a big deal, especially for people who depend on this specific store, like Randy Evans.
Now, you're going to tell me it's not racially motivated? Okay. I mean, you didn't close nothing in Andersonville.
In Carla, Germany.
I don't drive. Having to go cross town to get my medicine will be an inconvenience.
At a community town hall inside St. Mark's United Methodist Church Saturday morning, officials from Walgreens sat at the front while a few dozen people wanted to know why this location. Walgreens says theft there is at 16%, 4 times the company average. 4 times the company average.
Think about that.
Prescription volume fell 30% the last 5 years, and pharmacy reimbursement rates are 25% below Walgreens' average.
A lot of the times those lock boxes are getting destroyed, and that's a great cost to the company.
Walgreens says lock boxes and full-time security costs $400,000 a year at this location. Even that doesn't stop customers from jumping over counters to steal liquor, cigarettes, and make threats to team members.
I talk about how Chicago is the greatest freaking city in the world, and for those who did not know, now they know.
Just imagine being a cashier, your daughter, your son being a cashier and witnessing those things.
To prevent more locations from closing, Walgreens says they will pay for security features and swap out their guards for tactical security.
That's not enough. Get what we need and get out of here as quick as possible.
Looks fine to me.
And if you think about it, it's taking place in New York. The fraud hasn't even been uncovered in its entirety in New York. Ohio now has found another $1 billion worth of fraud in their healthcare agencies that are in the Somalian community. And then Maine. It just, in Minnesota, is just, it was the tip of the iceberg. And when we get into California and start uncovering things that they're arguing with us now about, they don't want anybody prosecuted because, again, they lose a vote. That's a heck of a thing to think about, isn't it? But that'll bring us into what's currently happening. We know what's going on with our Democratic Congress. We know what's going on with the Democratic blue states that are making it impossible for safety in some cases. There was another person killed in New York by an illegal just the other day who had been arrested previously and let go. We have to put a stop to this. The immigration problem is a problem, and it has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, whether you like it or not, and whether or not you want to believe the media who will drive home something from Tim Walz that says that they did things that were terrible. There were 2 people who lost their lives, and that's being investigated and should have been investigated, but those people should not have been present where they were, and then that would not have happened. Let's put the blame where the blame really is. George Floyd was a criminal, a dyed-in-the-wool criminal, not anybody's hero to build statues to, but the Democrats today want to build statues to people who kill an unarmed innocent man because he happened to work for a healthcare agency. And another nutcase that just tried to wipe out the entire cabinet of our administration at a correspondence dinner, and then a judge is apologizing to him. This is a problem when you stop and think about these DEI hires and appointments that were made to people who have no business sitting on a judge's bench, only with one thing in mind. They're supposed to be not political, but yet here it is. We see it. We're a witness to this every day, but there it is. So Trump left yesterday after talking to some reporters on the tarmac. The gaggle was out with their gotcha questions, and he had to lay a couple of them straight. He's not going to tell them what his next move with Iran is, and it just eats at them because they can't cut that up And they can't edit that out to use against Donald Trump. And this is what mainstream media is doing. They are an arm of the DNC, in case you haven't figured that out yet. But he laid some of them straight, and let's just take a look at some of the gaggle yesterday and some of the questions and answers that they weren't expecting.
At what point are you done negotiating with Iran?
Well, we're going to see what happens. We're only making a good deal. We have their military's gone, it's wiped out, and we're only going to make a good deal. We'll see what happens. But I believe that one way or the other, it's going to be very good for the American people, and I think actually very good for the Iranian people.
Are you reconsidering the Pakistanis as mediators?
No, they're great.
What?
I think they're great.
Mr.
I think
President,
the Pakistanis have been great. The Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan have been absolutely great.
Mr. President, what is your message to President Xi as it relates to the Iran war?
Well, I think number one, we're going to have a long talk about it. I think he's been relatively good, to be honest with you. You look at the blockade, no problems. They get a lot of their oil from that area. We've had no problem, and he's been a friend of mine. He's been somebody that we get along with. And I think you're going to see that good things are going to happen. This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Mr. President, do you think he needs to intervene at all with the Iranians?
I don't
do you think
he
can
does,
help
no.
in any way?
No, I don't think we need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other. We'll win it. We'll win it peacefully or otherwise. Their Navy's gone. Their Air Force is gone. Every single element of their war machine is gone. They've killed a lot of people. They've killed 42,000 people at least over the last month and a half. We win. I mean,
Mr. President,
no matter how you cut it.
Mr. President, what do you think of
Do you believe, Mr. Curtis here, Mr. President, do you believe your visit to China will impact of international economy and price of oil?
It's going to be a positive. We're going to have a very good meeting. I spoke with President Xi. We both look forward to the meeting. It's going to be great.
Mr. President, Mr. President, what is going to be your red line to end the ceasefire for you? What will it take to pull the plug?
Well, we're going to see, and we'll be thinking about it on the flight, and we'll be thinking about it for the next little while. But we've beaten their military very soundly. That's over with. The blockade is very effective. It's been 100% effective. And one way or the other, it's going to work out very well. It's going to work out very well. I think you're going to have so much oil, you're going to have a gusher of oil like you've never had before. So when oil goes up a little bit, I thought it would go up much more. If you go back 3-4 months ago, when we were contemplating, we assumed oil would go much higher. Yesterday it was at $99. And if you think about it, I would have taken that all day long because it's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon. They know that. They've agreed to that. And then that's not what they said to me when it came to pay. We don't play games. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Mr. President, you promised to bring inflation down. It's now at its highest level in 3 years. Are your policies not working? What's happening?
Policies are working incredibly. If you go back to just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%. Now, we had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're a stupid person, and you happen to be. I mean, I know you very well. Anybody that wants them to have a nuclear weapon is a stupid person. So we said we're going to take the greatest stock market in history, and we're going to go down a little bit, and actually that turned out to be incorrect because our stock market is now at the highest point in history, which frankly surprised a lot of people. It's a very simple message. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and that's 100%. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, their radar is gone, their leaders are gone. They're all gone. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. We're going to do whatever is necessary And as soon as this war is over, which will not be long, you're going to see oil prices drop, and you're going to see a stock market, which is already at the highest point in history, go through the roof. You're going to see the golden age of America, frankly, and you're seeing it now. So as soon as this is don't forget, you have hundreds of ships that are loaded up with oil that want to come out. As soon as they come out, we're going to have a gusher of oil, and you're going to have inflation that goes way down. Now, with all of this, inflation is much lower than it was under Biden. Biden had the highest inflation in the history of our country. Inflation is nothing by comparison, but our inflation is just short term. Because if you go from just before the war, we were for the last 3 months 1.7%. And now what you have is as soon as this war is over, you're going to see inflation go down to probably 1.5%.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Mr. President, yesterday you said you gave the Kurds arms for the security for themselves. A U.S. military official said that the Kurds have not received any arms, and the Kurdish political parties are denying receiving any arms.
The officials are wrong.
The message of Chinese people, sir, on the summit.
How's that different than your ballroom?
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule. I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. It's double the size. You are not a smart person. Right over here. Wait a minute. Right over here. And based on a lot of things that have happened over the last year, we doubled the size of the ballroom. So we're going to have a ballroom that's appropriate for the White House. We doubled the size. The ballroom now is ahead of schedule, and it's a little bit under budget, depending on the finishes that we use.
Does the president of Cuba have his days numbered? Does the president of Cuba have his days numbered?
Well, they're not doing well. Cuba is not doing well. It's a failed nation, and we'll be talking about Cuba at the right time.
Mr. President, let me ask you about Venezuela. Some Venezuelans are concerned that there are some political prisoners still in their prison. Would you do something about that? Are you concerned?
We're going to get them all out. And I'll tell you what, Delphi's doing a great job. The people of Venezuela are thrilled with what's happening. They can't even believe it. They're dancing in the streets. And as you know, we have Exxon, we have Chevron, we have all of the big companies going in. And Venezuela now is making more money than they've made in the last 25 years.
And the political prisoners will come out.
As you know, they let a lot of the political prisoners out, and the rest will be coming.
Did you ask Marty Kerry to resign, sir? Or did you fire your FBI
Well, I don't want to say, but Marty's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. He's a wonderful man, and he's going to be off. And the assistant, the deputy, is taking over temporarily until we find. Everybody wants that job. It's a very important job. Marty's a terrific guy, but he's going to go on and he's going to lead a good life.
He
was having some difficulty. You know, he's a great doctor, and he was having some difficulty, but he's going to go on and he's going to do well. Everybody wants that job.
It's a wonderful life, but not for Donald Trump. He has to put up with this nonsense every day when he has so much on his mind, getting on that airplane to go to China and to meet with Xi Jinping and possibly come back with a deal that will help us not only in the cessation of the Iranian conflict, but in our trade deficits that are going on between our countries. He's brought with him some top leaders, from Elon Musk to Tim Cook from Apple, which are well understood there because their products are being, in some cases, made there and sold there. So we'll see what comes of this. I have high expectations of the meeting with Xi Jinping and our Donald Trump. And I believe that they are friends, as Donald Trump says. The media will try to drive a wedge there as well, but I don't think it's going to work. I think they have an understanding between the two of them. They are both very smart men, and they both run countries very well. So his arrival was something to behold. However, if you listen to CBS and ABC, they have again edited everything down and told you this morning on this morning's news, especially over at Morning Jackass, that, it wasn't near the pomp and circumstances that he got what his first term when he went there. Of course not, because that was a first term, and that was the first visit there on our behalf. Of course he didn't get the same treatment today. But he got a beautiful arrival with a choreographed bunch of young people with two flags, the American flag and the red flag, choreographed well in advance because it was a beautiful thing to behold. It was a great arrival. It's a very long trip to make. I have made that trip, and it is tiring in itself. And he came down out of there, greeted people, and went on with the beast to wherever he is being housed. The media hates it that he's there. The media will shade things, edit things, and make you believe this when this is going on. Proof of it is I go on to Sky News in Australia this morning, and they actually showed the arrival as it should have been shown. But we have to cut it up here and say it wasn't all that great. But Sky News does a great job. The Australian news networks over there are doing a good job. Let's take a look at his arrival as seen by Sky News.
Sorry, Jonathan, just let me interrupt you for a moment, Jonathan, because we've just got images of Trump coming down the stairs now. So we'll just watch live as Trump makes his way down to the reception they've organised for him.
Yeah, you can see there, I mean, look, I have to say that the Chinese, when they are in sync, they're really, really in sync, right? And so you would expect this sort of a performance to welcome Donald Trump and the team. They would have rehearsed this for a long time. Nobody can be out of place. Those flags are waving all at the same time there. But you can see in that vision, Donald Trump has come down. He's meeting with officials there on the tarmac. As Jonathan Kersley said, he'll then get into the vehicle and it'll be about a 20-minute drive or so to get to this hotel. But this is quite significant, as Jono mentioned before. I mean, the last time he was here was in 2017. And when you think about it, the world was very different in 2017 to what it is right now. It was, I think, probably one of the biggest issues at the time really was tariffs. Look at China now. They've grown their military. They're a real force. So this is a very, very important trip. But look, they've rolled out the red carpet for him, haven't they? They've got this down packed and they're ready to receive him. And as Jono said, this would be a very warm welcome, and that would be the measure of success. I think they've got the Chinese military band there by the sounds of it as well.
You would expect nothing less, would you? And of course, you could talk about why Biden did or did not go to China during his presidency. It's interesting when you talk about Trump, of course. As we say, his last visit in 2017, Biden did not go in the intervening years. Of course, there is no president between those two who has been harder on China than Trump himself, particularly through those COVID years. And so this now marks the first visit, and we can see the welcome that they're giving to him there as he stands on that red carpet. But the first visit he's made since he was obviously so critical of China through all of those years as well. So for him to be there and to be, I don't want to say rebuilding the relationship, is quite something. But we'll just take a listen to these parades going on here. Media is being moved on there, so we won't see too much now.
Very quickly, that was a real, all right, we're done now.
I guess
get him into the car.
That's how things move in China. You get a slightly better picture of it there. And they really do, as you said, Danica, the pomp and ceremony. You know, the only other place that does it that good is probably the UK. But
yes.
they do it with precision in China.
But they also know, don't forget, the government over there know that these pictures are going worldwide, right? She knows that everyone's watching this trip. The world is watching closely to see what outcome. So when Donald Trump arrives, the pomp and ceremony is going to be extra special because they want to show off China. They want to say, look, we're welcoming. Look, this is, I mean, China would be looking at this going, what an achievement. We've got Donald Trump on home soil. He's back again. We're going to shore up this relationship. These pictures are being beamed around the world right now. But to pick up on a point that you made earlier, I think that Donald Trump goes into this with the upper hand, to be honest, because as you said, China relies on Iran and it also relies on Venezuela for its oil. Both of those countries are places that Donald Trump has targeted. Obviously, it went over when he went after Maduro. He's gone after Iran. So Donald Trump goes in saying, well, hang on, we don't need to rely on international shipments of oil. We've got it. We are America first. And that has been his big policy. Again, a different shift to where they were back in 2017. So China needs this as much as the US do. It's really like a game of cat and mouse almost.
If only our news media could be that enthusiastic about a visit that's so important right now, very important. And you have to realize that all the media wants to do is keep you in fear of everything, fear of oil prices, fear of, you name it, fear of going into the streets in some cases, in some areas, that they don't report on, but they'll report on the rise of gas prices, and it's all the fault of climate change and the war in Iran. In case you don't know, you have to understand that we get little to nothing in oil from the Straits of Hormuz or from Iran. China does, other countries around the world, and Europe benefit from what comes out of the Straits of Hormuz, but we are energy independent here. The prices at the gas pumps, even though the price of oil went down to 99 yesterday, you don't see the reduction at the pumps because they are making windfall profits on the fact that they can blame the war for charging you more at the pumps. And this is a direct result of states and their taxation on the gas and the oil conglomerates themselves that are making record profits. You don't see the sign changing when it's announced that it goes down, but let oil rise $1 and it's announced on our financial networks, and guess what? They're out there changing that sign up 10 cents because they can. And we are suffering for it. It has nothing or little to do with the war in the Straits of Hormuz with regard to our oil prices. What we forget, and we forget quickly, is that during Joe Biden, we had higher prices at the gas pumps because he shut down the refineries and the pipeline from Alaska. Did you forget that? It's like here in Southwest Virginia, East Tennessee, and parts of Kentucky, where tobacco was just shut off. And that was the livelihood of most of the farmers around here. They made their entire year's salary on what came out of their tobacco harvest. Gone. Look at the Rust Belt. Look at the factories that have been shut down that somebody has broken all the windows out of, sitting there rusting away because it was all shipped overseas by Clinton, by Obama, by Biden. Yes, we can make things here, and we can make things better here than we get from over there. A washing machine that'll last you maybe 5 years before you have to do either major repairs or replace it. The old adage that the poor pay more is exactly right. Buy something that's made here, made to last, not with planned obsolescence, so you have to spend more. We had in the 50s refrigerators and washing machines that were made and still working in some cases in our grandparents' basement, holding your favorite soft drinks. Why can't we do that anymore? They ran business out of this country through regulations, taxation, and other forms that made it impossible to hire people at a livable wage and make the products that we used to make here. I don't think there's a TV made in the United States anymore. We buy it all from China. We buy it all from Korea. Now Vietnam, in some cases the Philippines. Is it made well? Are there devices planted in it that read every thought that you might have or every load of wash you do? It's highly possible. AI is making a lot of this possible, and the advances made in surveillance are massive. Not to mention a spy balloon flying over every military installation we had and let do it by the President of the United States, who would not order it shot down. It's hard to believe, but it happened. And now we have a president that's working on our behalf to bring back manufacturing, bring it back bigger and better than ever. And you have the whole left side of the aisle and the geriatric division of Congress that are in some cases on the right side of the aisle fighting against it because it's Donald J. Trump, and they cannot hold their hate for him at bay to help their constituents who put them there in this Congress to work on our behalf. It's a sad state of affairs when you stop and think about it. What are the answer to these people that were put out of work? Oh, go learn coding. Get in the computer business. Join high tech. Some of these people are not capable of doing that, but they are capable of producing the coal we need, growing the tobacco for that industry, and doing the things that need to be done to fix our infrastructure that has been let go by many administrations. It's true. So where they end up when they're so depressed, they go to pill factories for the feel-good pick-me-up to help them through their unemployment. And where did that lead? It leads to drug addiction, which is rampant right now in this country. And it's not being helped any by the illegal immigrant population that is part of the cartels that bring it here. Let's not forget that. So when CBS and ABC and NBC want to downplay all this stuff to you, remember this when it comes time to remember who supports all of this and who the socialist part of the Democratic Party are and who the communist parts are. Because it has no room in our Constitution. As this country was founded under this Constitution with checks and balances that have been overridden by lawmakers that should not be making laws. Some of them shouldn't be driving cars. Some of them shouldn't be walking. It takes two people to bring Mitch McConnell in to cast a vote, and he doesn't know where he is. Nancy Pelosi is not much better. She's loaded most of the time. Bernie Sanders is a caricature of himself with the oligarchs. He is one. And he needs to go home. He spent too much time, and none of these people have ever worked a day in their life or had to sign a paycheck for someone that worked for them. This is the type of people that we need in Congress, people that have been successful, know how to run a business, and know how to treat people, and know what they're sent there for and what to accomplish when they're there on a platform that they should be running on. Not, I hate Donald Trump, so vote for me. And that's the whole Democratic Party line right now, when you stop and think about it. So that'll take us into Stupid Town today. That exit is right here.
You want to know why people who have children say it's the best decision you could ever make with your life? It's because it's the only decision they've made in their lives, bro. How many decisions about, like, truly, about what you would want to do in life could you make after the fact that you decide to have children? Right? Because that child is going to take up all your fucking time, okay? You have to work on top of this, so let's not forget that, okay? You have to work on top of this and raise that fucking child. That is full-time, 24 hours, nonstop labor on the clock, taking care of that child. Okay? So when people say it's the best decision I ever made, it's the only decision they've ever made in their lives. I'm tired of people fucking saying this to me, okay? Like, oh my God, it's the best decision. Like, oh, you'll be so happy once you're a mother and whatever. It's like the only happiness you've ever known is having a child in your life. What makes you think that having a child would bring me more happiness than like fully embarking on like my bodybuilding journey? What makes you think that having a child would bring me more happiness than starting a coaching business? What makes you think that having a child would be more enlightening and more amazing than me getting on this app and empowering women to make choices for themselves?
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. This dude is not smart.
Let's go, Glass House.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it?
If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, maybe it's a duck.
And this isn't just about Republicans. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too.
Fights harder for us too.
Was that a fart?
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You are both idiots.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's right.
And so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it.
You are stupid.
You look at Thomas Jefferson writing to Madison in revolt of British aristocracy. The American Revolution was against the billionaires of their time.
The billionaires of their time.
She's either playing dumb or just is.
You can't get any stupider than AOC. I'm sorry. This is a bartender that has no business being anywhere near a seat in Congress. Whether or not she's part of the Marxist movement that's going on in New York now, I don't know, but I have a pretty good idea that she's right there because she loves Mandani, and that's evident. And stupid is as stupid does. That's what they say. So it's hard to believe that with this many people that are prospering in the stock market, because the stock market is doing very well, no matter what the news media tries to portray it as, we have a strong market right now. People are taking good profits. The economy in this country is not as bad as what they want to tell you it is. It can be perceived that way by some, but if you think about it, yes, goods are a little bit more expensive. We know that. Gasoline is a little more expensive. But the wages are going up, employment is going up, and the stock market is having record settings. This doesn't happen by accident. It is driven by the fact that this country is moving. If you want to believe that 3.8% increase in inflation is a problem, this is painted for you by all of the channels we're talking about here, the mainstream media channels and the other platforms that are giving you financial advice as well. People are doing well that are in the stock market. People that refuse to buy in when they were told to buy in are the people that are not benefiting from it. But there is an opportunity in this country to make a good living. But here's the key factor that most people forget. You have to go out and you have to actually accomplish something. You have to work for it. No one is going to hand it to you. And the free-for-alls that the Marxists and the communists want to hand out to their voting population, someone has to pay for it. When you look at the billions of dollars that went overseas just out of the state of Minnesota by the Somalian fraud that took place there, and now Ohio and California, there's billions and billions of dollars that have left here to go to pirates and terrorists in Somalia that could have helped some families here, that it was designed to help until someone figured out how they can steal it and not work for it. But then again, you look at people that are sitting in power in Congress, some have never worked a day in their life and don't plan on it because as Marjorie Taylor Greene leaves Congress, she is quite wealthy, just bought a several $million home. How do you do that on a $170,000 a year salary? I would like to know, because I'd sign up for it. You would too. But it's happened, it's there, and we can't do a whole lot about it, except sit and maybe in some cases be sad about it. But you shouldn't, because you have opportunities coming at you now like you've never had before. With this new advent of not only AI, but the problems with power plants and all of the new high-powered computing systems that are coming out, there are opportunities on top of opportunities for people to gain good employment or to invest in a situation that will be the future. This is how you have to look at things. And that'll take us for a little walk over to the corner, our faith corner, where we have a prayer today that talks about removing sadness, removing the doubt that you have, either about your government or your country, or just doubts in your mind about getting an answer from God in some cases. So let's take that corner.
Life becomes heavy when we focus only on problems and disappointments. But true joy is not based on perfect circumstances. Real joy comes from God's presence within us. Even during difficult seasons, His love can fill our hearts with happiness, strength, and peace that never fades away. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10. This verse reminds us that God's joy gives us inner strength to keep moving forward. When we stay connected to Him, joy rises above sadness and fear, helping us face every situation with hope, confidence, and a thankful heart. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts that desire true joy. In a world filled with stress and negativity, help us to find happiness in your presence. Fill our hearts with joy that is deep, lasting, and rooted in your unfailing love. Lord, remove every heaviness and sadness from within us. Replace discouragement with hope and fear with peace. Teach us to focus on the blessings you have given us instead of the problems surrounding us each day. Father, help us to carry a joyful spirit wherever we go. Let our words, actions, and attitude reflect the happiness that comes from knowing you. Use our lives to encourage others who may be struggling with sadness or hopelessness. Lord, your word reminds us in Psalm 118, verse 24, that this is the day you have made, and we should rejoice and be glad in it, teaching us to appreciate each day as a gift filled with new mercy and opportunity. Help us, Father, to understand that joy is a choice we make through faith. Even when circumstances are difficult, remind us that you are still good, still faithful, and still worthy of our praise and gratitude. Lord, fill our homes and families with laughter, peace, and joy. Remove every spirit of negativity and division. Let your presence bring warmth and happiness into every relationship and every moment we share together. Father, help us to find joy in the simple blessings of life. Teach us to appreciate small moments, kind words, and everyday grace. Open our eyes to see your goodness surrounding us in ways we often overlook. Heavenly Father, thank you for the joy that comes from your presence. Thank you for loving us, comforting us, and filling our lives with hope even during uncertain times. Thank you, Lord, for placing true joy within our hearts today. We choose to rejoice in you and trust that your joy will continue to strengthen and guide us every day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Great prayer for people that doubt. And we all suffer from doubt and misunderstanding in some cases. But there's one person that you can never doubt the love of, and that is God Almighty. And if you pray every day for help and ask for help, you shall receive it. And don't forget that. It's Wednesday here, Hump Day. Special order day if you want specialty cut meats at our sponsor here, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. You'll see the number below. They can be found on Facebook as well. If you're in the area, Bloomingdale Road in Kingsport, Tennessee is where they're located. They have the best meats possible. They use a blonde Aquitaine cattle that is a different cattle than what you're used to or what you get in stores. It's delicious. You can get it cut in any fashion you want if you call in there today. If you're not local and you want it shipped to your door anywhere in the continental United States, phone them at this number below and tell them Kaiser sent you. You'll be happy. They'll ship a box to you, a sample box if you need to, or any specialty cut meat you want. They have beef, pork, and chicken products that are great. Cheeses. American cheese that is so creamy, you'll think it's a glass of milk. It's great. Give them a call today and tell them Kaiser sent you, and they'll fix up a box for you and ship it to your door. So enjoy this weekend. Do a cookout. Get together with friends and family. Be happy. And don't be sad ever about where this country is going, because this country will survive. Don't listen to mainstream media. They will lie to you every day. or edit out any of the truth in what you're hearing. Remember that, and stay safe. Stay strong, and stay tuned here to the Kaiser Report. Hit subscribe, hit a thumbs up, and share this with your friends. Thank you. God bless you all. Have a great rest of Wednesday. Bye-bye now. God love you.